So the outcome of today's talk is so you gain a lot of content that you can immediately apply. So who thinks knowledge is power here? It's not. Really, it's not. In 2008, I was on the verge of suicide. I wouldn't eat with a knife just in case I did this. I wouldn't walk in a street just in case I did something stupid. And it only takes 5 seconds of craziness to do something like that. I'd lost everything on the stock market. I got a real estate business. Everything crashed. I couldn't find a way out. And I needed an intervention from Tony Robbins. You've heard of Tony Robbins? That didn't work. I needed an intervention from his wife's brother, and then my wife. And I realized that life isn't about me. It's about the difference that you make. As soon as you take away you from the equation, the pain disappears. And if you just do this one thing, I just did this one thing, I gave. In the moment you give, there is no pain, there is no suffering, as long as you give authentically. So I had to tell my wife, and she said, "Honey, you made one big mistake." I said, "Oh, here we go, she's going to haunt me for the rest of my life." She said, "No, honey, you haven't lost it all. You still have me, you still have the kids, and we'll sleep in the street as long as we're with you." Wow, that's powerful. And then she said, "Honey, I knew there was something wrong, and I thought it was something serious." So what are you talking about? This is serious. I probably used the F word. And she said, "No, I thought you had cancer." Wow, that's what she was worried about. So relationships are the most important thing. You know, we work on our funnels, on marketing, on helping people getting income, but you have to work on your relationships. If you spent as much time on your relationships as you do in business, your relationships wouldn't fail. The number one reason why relationships fail, do you know what it is? You stop making your partner your number one priority. Right. When you first date, they're your first most important person. You look after them, you spend so much time on them. Then you get complacent. Once you get complacent and someone else gives them some attention, things change. So if there's one thing you can learn today, focus on your relationships, on your family, your friends, your children. We never had 1 minute of adolescence because we focused on our children. We went into their lives instead of you going into them coming into our lives. So there is a happiness formula. And I ask you if knowledge is power. It's not unless you implement. Okay, I know how to lose weight, but I still overeat. So it's very important. Awareness is the number one discipline you need to master. Awareness gives you clarity. Clarity gives you focus. Focus gives you action. Action gives you results. Results gives you momentum, which leads you to joy, fulfillment, happiness, joy. And the happiness formula is this: H equals G cubed. Okay, so if you write that down, this is the most powerful thing you'll learn today. The first G is you have to give. Give your time, your energy, your love, your commitment, your gift, your money. Give it away without wanting anything in return. So just look at a partner, give them something right now. Give them something. How did that feel? How did that feel when the lady hugged you? See, it doesn't have to be a big thing. A smile is a give. A thank you, you know, a waitress, a waiter, someone in the street, just smile at them. A hug, it's a beautiful thing. The second G is you have to be grateful. Be grateful for what you have and don't focus on what you don't have. So everybody pull out your hands, they're at the end of your arms. Look at them. When was the last time you said thank you to them?
Thank you. Never.
Yeah. What have they done for you?
Everything.
Everything. They've caressed the people that you've loved. They've fed you, nurtured you, protected you. Yeah, wiped you. I'm trying to keep it as clean as possible. Yeah? You know, we poop in water that other countries would love to drink from. You know, people are complaining about this rain. It's a gift from God. And remember, the sun is always shining. And the third G is you have to be growing. Emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally. Okay? Now, the beautiful thing about this formula is, at any given time, one of those three G's is below the rest. Okay? Give, grow, gratitude. So if you just think for a minute, right now, write down what's your lowest G. Is it giving? Is it growing? Is it gratitude? There's always one below the rest. Even if there's 100, 199.9, there's always one below the rest. So think about that and tell me what it is. Ravi?
I would say giving.
Giving. So what stops you from giving?
What?
What stops you from giving?
Nothing stops me from giving. I try to give everybody something every day. I follow hope. Help one person every day.
Okay, so he said try. Okay, so it's a muscle. As you develop this muscle, I can give in minutes. It's so easy for me. I made an introduction to David today. That's a giving.
That's right.
I had nothing to gain from it, but I thought, hey, you need to meet Scott. Scott, you need to meet David. And we had a great conversation. He gave to me, and sometimes as givers, it's hard to receive. So what was your lowest G?
Grateful.
Grateful. So
Right now, the point I'm in my life, I seem to lose sight of that occasionally.
yeah. Okay, so this is a great exercise. When you get home, write down 100 things you're grateful for. And you may struggle with this because it's not a muscle you have developed. So your arms, your teeth. My wife had a terrible burn on her face and chest recently. Worst day of my life. Came home from an airport and she said, oh, there's something wrong. I thought she was kidding. And then she pulled over the mask and she's covered in blotches. Terrible. But we fixed it. But in that moment I realized, oh my God, I take this stuff for granted. We take the joy that we have for each other for granted. I was taking my wife for granted. She was worried about her looks. I didn't care. I said, look, honey, I don't care how it looks. But she was concerned. Great. Yeah, grateful. Lisa? Timing, great timing. Always ask when someone's got something in their mouth.
Well, it rotates.
Yeah, well, right now.
Kind of right now, probably growing because I haven't been spending enough time on my own personal growth and development because I've been busy with things.
Okay, good. So growing is part of it, but which part of growing? Emotional, physical, spiritual, mental?
Probably some of the, maybe the mental.
It's not mental.
You said mental.
Yeah, but it's not mental in your case.
Okay. Not physical and spiritual.
No, so that leaves emotional. So see, this gives you so much clarity. So if you just worked on your emotional growth, that gives you clarity, and as soon as you work on that, it lifts everything up. Because we're so overwhelmed, like you've been very busy. Now you know exactly where to work. It's your emotional growth. What do we say to ourselves? How do we beat ourselves up? I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, there's something wrong with me, people don't love me, I'm a failure, I don't have enough time. So, during the day, write down how you feel and see what caused it. And the truth is, you're a beautiful soul. We can do these incantations. I am strong, I am powerful, I am energy, I'm joy, I have a gift, I can help people. It's not about me, it's about the difference I make. I'm invincible. I'm here to make a difference. So these are incantations you can replace with the ones that say, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, there's something wrong. So thank you for sharing.
Same similarity fluctuates, but right now it's safe growth also.
Okay.
Which area?
Who knows? Who knows what areas you need to work on?
Emotional.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's easy.
Because if she can't figure out which one it is, it means it's in the head.
See how powerful this is. So what, can I do a little bit of a breakthrough with you? What's your biggest issue right now? Is it you're not worthy, you're not good enough? What is it?
I'm stuck and can't take action on my professional next move.
Okay.
My
So-
income, yeah.
So what do you have to let go of? Yeah, good.
All programming.
Yeah. So she used the word I can't. Of course you can't.
Because you won't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you really fearful of? I'm not going to go deeper with you because I want to respect the table. But that's a question you can ask. What is it you're really fearful of?
Fear of failure, usually.
Is it fear of success or fear of making a mistake?
Just change.
Yeah.
Change.
See, as human beings, we oops. As human beings, write this down. As human beings, we love to be comfortable about being comfortable. Okay, and
I
what
feel like uncomfortable.
yeah, but as human beings, where we get the biggest growth is when we're uncomfortable. So you have to become uncomfortable about being comfortable and comfortable about being uncomfortable. So when you were around 1 year old and you started to walk, did you say to yourself, I can't do this?
No, I was dancing.
Yeah, there you go. Go back to that time and be that person. Be that unstoppable being that you used to be.
Kids don't have any natural fear.
Yeah. They don't know what it is. Yeah.
Right.
You didn't say to yourself, I'm never going to learn this language. No. You just did it. What's yours?
Gratitude.
Okay, so you know the exercise. 50 things, 100 things. And you can even do this at home. So,
Right.
grateful. Good. Great. Emotional?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your issue?
We don't have that
I know what it is. We're gonna pay for
So she does the physical pain, I do the mental pain.
I don't.
But you can work on that at home. I don't want to push you into a place. But it just gives you clarity that if you just work on that area, man.
Growing as well. I think I can always be grateful. All I have to do is watch the news. And it's
No. Don't watch the news.
Yeah.
Don't watch the news. Oh my goodness.
Depressing.
it is depressing, but but it's growing.
Right.
Emotionally, especially at the stage of my life, I'm looking back on all I've done or not done, and where I want to be.
Yeah, so one of the biggest regrets when people are on their deathbed is, I wished I did it.
Right.
But there is only the now.
Right.
Colonel Saunders, when did he start? 65. Yeah, 65. So we have time. As human beings, we cannot change the past, correct? But we can change the future we live into. So imagine we had this meeting a year ago, and you decided, I'm going to grow immensely. And then you come to this meeting, you've been in a different place. So today, make a decision that there's something you're going to change. You're going to be unstoppable. You're going to step up. You're not going to let other people have power over you. What other people think of you is none of your business. Focus on giving, growing. You know what compounding interest is? You know what compounding happiness is? That's my term. So imagine today you decided to be 0.5% happier. Could you do that? 0.5% more generous, 0.5% more giving, 0.5% more grateful, 0.5% more present, playful. How would that compound over a week, a month, a year? And I came back in a year. Where would you be? In a different place.
Happy.
0.5%. God forbid you decided to do 1%, 2%, 5%. It all compounds, and what we've been doing is negatively compounding. So,
Grateful in all areas, and that has a direct impact on number one, which is giving.
yeah. So now you have clarity. Yeah. So,
I said mine is growing.
growing.
Yes, definitely with the emotional and some of the mental, but the emotional piece
Yeah.
is
Now
massive change.
yeah. And you can create massive change.
Emotional growth.
Emotional.
In mine, I think it is, I perceive it as growing, but The real factor is grateful. If I'm more grateful, I won't perceive that much amount of deficiency in growing.
Great. So which one is it?
It is grateful.
Grateful. Yeah. And again, it's a very simple exercise. Once you start writing these things down, you get present to it. And once you get present to it, all the other stuff disappears. Was that useful?
Yeah.
So as human beings, we do everything for one reason only, and that's for a feeling. We have a great meal, a relationship, nice car, a nice house for a feeling. So what would happen if you could create a feeling without anything happening? What would happen?
Yeah, you're happy all the time now. Huh?
Yeah, you get to create life instead of life creating you. And that's just a decision. You can make that decision today, that you're going to create any feeling that you want. So if you just all close your eyes, think of a beautiful magic moment in your life. A happy moment. The day you got married. The day you got divorced. It's a good one. A joyous moment. The birth of a child.
Child leaving home. Or a child leaving home.
Yeah, or a child leaving home. There you go.
You just gave.
How does that feel?
Good, right?
Yeah, you created that. So if you stack 10 of those up and say, look, I'm going to keep these. Whenever I'm feeling down, I'm going to focus on those 10. And that just becomes a muscle. Say, I'm feeling upset. Oh, you know, I want to focus on the great stuff. And then the thing you're worried about maybe disappears. Or you don't give it power. And then when you don't give it power, you can be an observer. And once you're an observer, you can respond instead of react. When you react, it's always normally the wrong decision. But when you respond, it's more measured, it's more powerful. As human beings, we're meaning-making machines. Something happens, we make it mean something. So if I phone my wife and she doesn't return my call, I make it mean she doesn't love me, she doesn't care for me, she doesn't honor me. All of that stuff. And all that happened was, she didn't call me back. But we do this every day.
But I think mind is so crazy. You're right. It goes in a chain reaction.
It is. But we can control the mind. All it is just a muscle. And as you develop this muscle, it gets stronger and stronger. But it has to start with awareness. So how do you gain awareness? If you have a computer, put a sticker on it with the word awareness on it. You could have a handkerchief in your pocket with a knot in it. Every time you feel it, say, oh yes, I have to be aware. You could have your phone remind you every 3 hours to be aware. You could have a wristband with the word awareness on it, or just the word A on it, just something. Yeah? And there you go, you have a supply there. That will give you the awareness, and then a beautiful thing happens. You become aware of being aware. Very powerful. It's simple stuff, but if you don't implement, you're not going to gain. And this is an exercise that you can teach your friends and family. And on Sunday, I'm having an event, and we go deeper. We'll do that intervention that we could have done, and we'll go deeper, and we'll go into how human beings work, because we're never given a manual. If you bought a brand new Tesla and on the way home it broke down, well, you wouldn't know what to do. But as human beings, we were never given a manual, and I will teach you I think there's 45 different aspects of being a human being. Why we sabotage relationships. Letting go of the past. Write this down. Forgiveness is the express pathway to freedom. The quality of your life is dependent on the depth and authenticity of the forgiveness you're able to extend to others and to yourself.
Could you repeat?
Yeah, forgiveness is the express pathway to freedom. Imagine you could go from here to the airport in 2 minutes. Pretty cool. It's that beautiful. The quality of our life is dependent on the depth and authenticity of the forgiveness we're able to extend to ourselves and to others. So who has someone here that they need to forgive? A parent? Normally a father.
Of course, we have people we have
Who
to
do you have?
forgive. so many situations where people have done something wrong to you.
No. Who do you have?
Who do
See-
you?
Do you see what he was doing?
What did you just?
Who do you have? Yeah. Who's the number one person?
For me,
Yeah.
I would say my wife. Yeah.
Yeah, his wife. Okay.
Me.
You. Okay, for you it's you.
Myself, yeah.
So come on Saturday, we might do an exercise.
Are you at the Habitude conference?
I'm there, yeah. Yeah, I'll be speaking later on today. Yeah. So forgiveness is so powerful. We beat ourselves up. I could beat myself up for losing millions of dollars in 2008. But no, I choose to be grateful. I was on, you know Richard Branson? So I was on his island. First day we went for a walk and I slipped. And I grabbed something. Guess what I grabbed?
Something with thorns.
Richard.
Cactus.
Oh,
Cactus. I was so upset for 10 seconds. Then I was grateful. I had about 100 of these things in my hand. They were there for like 7 weeks. I had to get a plastic surgeon to remove them out afterwards. But you know why I was grateful?
Because you're on Never Island with Richard Branson.
No.
You didn't fall and break your back.
No. Well, I could have been grateful for that. It was my left hand.
Oh, there you go.
This is my tennis hand.
Ah.
That's why. So that's the muscle that I developed. It's so easy to have been so upset. So as you develop this muscle,
so you
magical
saw
things will come.
happiness in the pain.
Well, no, yeah, but the thing is, be present to the pain. If you see a kid, when they're crying, they're really crying, but they don't live in that world. You know, they don't resent you for telling them off. They don't hold that grudge. They'll just move on. So it's okay to be in pain, but don't live in pain. The difference between pain and suffering is this: suffering is when you feel you cannot do anything about it. Pain is temporary. Suffering is permanent.
What if the pain is not temporary?
So give me an example.
I have severe back issues, and I
Okay.
am in pain all the time.
Okay, so is there a solution?
No.
That's your problem.
Well, I've tried numerous and have not found one yet.
Yeah. So
So
you,
you tried?
yeah,
No.
Edison.
Tried it 10,000 times.
Yeah. There is a way. I promise you, there is a way. You need to watch this movie called. It's called Lorenzo's Oil. Okay, very beautiful movie about a kid who contracts his disease and his father will never give up, and he finds a pathway, finds a solution.
What is the name?
Lorenzo's Oil. So there is a way. I promise you. Talk to me afterwards. I have something for you.
I would agree.
Yeah,
I
there's
don't
always a
know.
way. Bruce
Yeah, I
Lee.
believe
Read
that.
the Bruce Lee story when his back got snapped. There is a way. Any other questions?
There's always a way.
Always a way. Just be unstoppable. Any other any
Are you
questions?
winding down? Because I have a question that I don't want to.
No, ask, yes.
Oh, I just wanted to know a snapshot of your background and credentials.
Credentials. I have a PhD in results. I was a doctor of optometry for 20 years, and patients would come to me and ask me, hey, just advice, and I would tell them, and they say, hey, that advice was amazing. I said, of course it was. It's like common sense. And Tony Robbins in 2000 said, Anil, why don't you coach for a living? I looked at him this way, actually. I said, well, you're the guru. I was comparing myself to him, but he saw a greatness in me that I never saw. So it didn't come to 2008. My wife said to me, what do you love to do? She said, I said, I love to coach. She said, why don't you do that? I said, what about the money? I said, honey, I've never asked you for money. Do what you love. Another friend of mine said, Anil, why don't you run events? I said, to be honest, I'm scared. He said, what are you scared of? And he said, look, I said, what happens if no one turns up? He said, Anil, if no one turns up, no one will know. Do that. Really, because I was so concerned about what other people thought. So my first event was 6 people, then 10, 20. Last year I spoke in front of 10,000 people. I've coached Mike Tyson, Mike Bryan. Richard Branson's attended one of my events on Necker Island. I hold a number of events there.
What's the event Sunday?
It's an immediate. It's called Immediate Happiness Secrets to Success and Fulfillment. David will send you details, and I've got a great offer for you guys. And I remember, you used to be focused on numbers, and this event, I haven't done anything. If I don't get any people, it doesn't bother me, because I was so attached to what other people thought. And I think to myself, the biggest regret people have when they come to my event? I wished I'd have brought someone with me.
That's right.
I wished I'd have done this a year ago. And I think, that's your choice. If you don't take action, you're not going to get the results. And we really dig and we find out other people's problems, and other people's problems. You think, oh my God, that's me too. And then you have the breakthrough. And I teach you simple, practical, but life-changing methodologies. You may or may not be aware of, but when you put it in a particular process, it's the most beautiful thing. What else? That's it, really. I got hundreds of video testimonials. I never believe in a written testimonial. But if someone's willing, and I will share some video testimony. I've got one from Mike Tyson, the funniest thing ever. Mike Bryan, the most prolific tennis player on the planet, and hundreds of personal ones. When people say, look, I was this, I was able to forgive, I was insecure, now I'm confident, I wasn't able to do this, I wasn't able to do that. But really, at the end of the day, you have to take action. It's your life. It's not a dress rehearsal. Here's one sentence that changed my life. Ready? Be so great that you cannot be ignored. That changed my life. So I was playing small. Then I stepped up. It wasn't about me, it's about the difference I made. How can I help people? Be so great that you cannot be ignored. And this is by Steve Martin, and I added this bit. And if you are ignored, it does not matter. Because how you show up in life is totally different. Any other questions? I'm here to serve you.
So, a question on forgiveness.
Yeah.
I have debated this. There are two things.
Okay.
I forgive the person who has wronged me so that I'm free, but I do not forget.
Yeah, you don't have to forget. Never forget.
Never forget.
No.
Right? Forgive, but not forget. But at the same time, it's I who have forgiven that person, which doesn't mean that I become as if nothing has happened, and we're buddy-chummy and all, and the person has not done any repentance or doesn't feel any sense of wrongdoing.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, there's no path to forgiveness for that person, but I have forgiven that person in my mind. Do I also forgive that person in my behavior, in my interactions, in my
Trust is a
everything?
different issue.
Yeah, but the thing is, you don't have to interact with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have family members I just do not like, and I don't spend any time with them. I give them my love, and I've forgiven them, and in fact, I'm so grateful that they're not in my life. And it's given me so much joy and peace. And as an Indian community, it's hard because everyone's saying, no, you should. And I said, no, I didn't choose this family. I choose my friends, so I'm going to choose my family. I don't care if it's a blood relative. It doesn't matter. It's my life.
Sure.
I think the forgiveness, you have to look at it as for you. Something that makes you free.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, it's going to eat your lunch.
Yeah, because
You know?
the concept of forgiveness is so important.
It's about you.
It's about you.
Yeah,
It's
you
not
get-
about the
It doesn't
social
matter what
setting
he does.
or
You have a choice to
Yeah, right.
interact.
And how do you forgive? Actually, it's a very difficult topic. But just by saying somebody I forgive, it doesn't.
No. There's a process.
Yeah, it's not easy
There's
to
a
forgive. It's not
process.
easy to forgive either.
I have a process, and in one session you can forgive. One session.
So it's a difficult
Does your
thing.
process involve actually picking up the phone
No.
and facing that person
No,
and saying,
no.
I forgive you?
Children who lose a parent are 5 times more likely to die by suicide, are 9 times more likely to drop out of school, and are 10 times more likely to use drugs and alcohol. So I think it's about 92% of kids right now who are in drug and alcohol rehab have lost somebody close to them. And there was a